What's the worst wedding experience you ever had? The time my husband picked up a shift at work on our wedding night. Don't worry though, he didn't actually end up working on our wedding night. He was just cheating. I found that out way later. My father's stepsister's wedding. I was 5, it was hot, the groom smushed cake in her face even after she told him not to. She smushed cake in his face and broke his nose. Blood everywhere. We left as the ambulance was arriving. When I was in my 30s, at my cousin's wedding, his wife had asked him not to smush the cake, and he didn't. The best man, who was a massive a-hole, did it instead. We left. Didn't get any cake at either wedding. Close friend's wedding. Flew internationally to attend. Got my nails, hair, makeup done. Bought a 500 dress. Made it through the ceremony. Immediately after went to the bathroom and was uncontrollably vomiting and shitting. It was everywhere. I had to ask staff for help. They ended up closing off the bathroom because vomit was all over the walls. I had to exit the party covered in my own filth. This happened a very long time ago. I was dating this guy and his sister sent out wedding invites to Hawaii. His mother offered to pay for us to attend, so the two of us and his parents flew out. At the airport, the happy couple greeted us and we all went to dinner. Lots of toasts, happy memories, and quite a few of her family attended this dinner. The next day all of us were left to wander the island while the couple were busy with last-minute things. The day of the wedding, my then boyfriend and I were woken up to frantic banging on our hotel room door. It was his mom, crying. Long story short, the groom-to-be let the bride know that he would not be attending the wedding. Turns out, dude never sent his family invites because he knew long before the wedding that he was gonna bail. He just finally did it on the wedding day itself. What a wild trip that was. They ran out of food for the last 2 tables, who just happened to be the coworkers of the bride. We had to order pizza delivery and pay for it ourselves. The bride's family refused to pay for it. You never remember the good weddings, but you never forget the bad ones. My cousin got a dick pic from her father, my uncle, on her brother's wedding night. He drunkenly was sexting some lady he met online and accidentally sent it to her. True story. The music for the wedding was recorded by the bride and groom, neither of whom were singers. Basically pre-recorded karaoke. Found out my dad had Parkinson's at my brother's wedding last, and the entire family to find out. They had been hiding it from me for a while. My grandma was newly confined to a wheelchair and pooped her pants at my brother's wedding. At my ex-friend's wedding I showed up prepared to be the maid of honor and found out from the makeup person that there was another maid of honor. We found out she had 2 of us working as maid of honor secretly. We both quit. This happened October of 2016. My so at the time didn't look at the wedding invitation that had the location, and only relied on me to look at it. I looked at it and thought it was a hotel since it said go to the hotel which has a shuttle service to the ceremony. Turns out, reception that we were invited to, not ceremony, was at the same location as the ceremony and not at the hotel. My so lost his shit on me, said he'd never marry ma, said I'm illiterate, etc. Again, he never looked at the invite with the directions. We get there, and he just spends the time flirting with another woman, ignoring me the whole time, not talking to me, and we don't even dance. We leave. He yells at me more in the car. He makes me sleep on the couch. My daughter's wedding. No one showed up to the bachelorette party night before. Groom had the flu day of wedding and was vomiting all over the restroom. Bridesmaid had a seizure during the actual ceremony. Groom's ex shows up and ruins the first dance. And someone forgot to invite groom's birth mom to the ceremony and she missed it. TOTLDISSTER. A long time ago was invited to a wedding of a college friend. Invitation was very fancy, so we dressed up in suits to attend. Had a difficult time finding the place, arrive and find out that it's in a literal horse pasture. Smelled of manure and was an extremely hot summer day, so that made it worse. Looking for the groom to offer congratulations and find him dressed in shorts and a t-shirt playing football with some buddies. The bride? Nowhere to be found. They had already gotten married earlier in the day and she was inside taking a nap. We had arrived a good 45 minutes before the time listed on the invite. Anyways, for the reception they set up a potato bar in the pasture and there were millions of flies covering the food. We excused ourselves and never saw or heard from him again. I was all set to be best man for my friend's wedding. It was going to be a small wedding at their church with a lunch afterward. At 7:30 the morning of the wedding, the groom called me and told me the wedding was cancelled, and he said that he would call me and explain later. He didn't call me the next day, or the next after that. He just dropped off the face of the earth, and I never saw him again. The bride didn't want to discuss it. I called his dad, and he said that groom had left town for boot camp. It was a really weird situation. The groom got very, very drunk before the wedding. He could barely stay standing up during the ceremony and ended up passing out in the bathroom during the reception. The bride had no idea he was in the bathroom until he was dragged out of the bathroom by venue staff, who then called an ambulance for him. They are still married. The groom's grandfather had a heart attack on the dance floor and died. I was a kid at a wedding in San Clemente, Ca. It was on the coast, and there was a retaining wall, or whatever you call it, behind the stage area. I fell over the wall, and the entire audience gasped, thinking I had fell down the cliffs. There was really like 3-4 feet of flat ground there on the other side, and I was fine. Lol, I haven't had any bad weddings. When I was a kid, the first wedding I went was my dad's friend, and his wife brought a stripper to strip for him on the dance floor, and dad told me not to look. At my dad's wedding, having to run around to find my brother for toasts, found him upstairs hooking up with our new stepmom's daughter. My uncle got so drunk at my sister's wedding that he confessed to having an affair and completely ruined the family.